Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how a bookie actually comes up with the odds you see every day. And trust me, it's not just a guess. It's a fascinating mix of hard math, market psychology, and, yeah, a built-in advantage for the house. We're gonna break it all down.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You see a team is priced at, say, 1.91 to win, and you just kind of stare at it thinking, why that exact number? Why not 1.90? Or just a nice round 2.00? It feels so random, but I promise you, there is a very specific science behind it all.
Exactly. Those numbers are the final piece of a really interesting puzzle. It involves some powerful algorithms, some seriously sharp human analysis, and of course, a guaranteed profit margin for the bookmaker. So let's start putting those pieces together.
Okay, so it all starts with one thing and one thing only: pure, unadulterated probability. Before a bookmaker even thinks about their profit, their first job is to act like a statistician and figure out the true chance of every single possible outcome.
Let's make this super simple. Think about a coin toss. You've got two outcomes, heads or tails, right? Each one has a perfect 50% chance of happening. Well, in the world of betting, that 50% probability translates directly into what we call a true odd of 2.00. Simple as that.
And this brings us to a really crucial term you gotta know: implied probability. This is the bedrock of all odds. It is the bookie's purest, most honest calculation of how likely something is to happen based on everything from their complex statistical models to last-minute team news.
Let's make this real with an NBA example. Say the bookies traders analyze a game and decide the Boston Celtics have about a 60% chance of winning. You do the math, and that translates to a true odd of 1.67. Their opponent, the Milwaukee Bucks, with a 40% chance, gets a true odd of 2.50. This is the clean mathematical foundation before anything else gets layered on top.
So, you're probably asking, okay, if those are the true odds, why aren't those the numbers I see on the betting site? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Bookmakers are businesses, and they gotta make money. This next step is exactly where they build in their profit.
They build in that profit using something called a margin, or as you'll often hear it called, the VIG. The easiest way to think of it is as their service fee. By just slightly reducing the payout on the true odds, they create this mathematical advantage for themselves that ensures they get a slice of the pie, no matter who actually wins the game.
And here's how that margin totally skews the math. You see, in a perfectly fair world, all the probabilities would add up to exactly 100%. But check out this real-world football example. When you take the bookmaker's odds and turn them back into probabilities, they actually add up to over 100%, in this case 107.8%. And that extra bit, that's the bookie's margin. That's their guaranteed profit right there.
So let's bring this back to our Celtics and Bucks game. Remember, the true odds for Boston were 1.67, but after the bookie adds their margin, the price you actually see is shaved down to 1.57. Same thing on the other side. The payout is just slightly trimmed on every outcome, and that, my friends, is how the bookmaker gets paid.
But wait, the process doesn't even stop there. If you've ever watched a betting line in the hours before a game, you know the odds aren't static. They're alive, they're constantly moving, reacting to new information, and, this is key, reacting to where all the money is going.
So what makes these odds jump around? Well, it can be real-world news, like a star quarterback getting injured in warm-ups, or a sudden downpour at a tennis match. But honestly, one of the biggest drivers is you, the betting public. If a tidal wave of money comes in on one team, the bookie's going to lower those odds and raise the odds on the other team. They're not trying to predict the winner anymore. They're trying to balance their books to guarantee a profit.
Now, here's a little inside baseball for you. It's critical to understand that not all bookmakers are created equal. You have what the pros call sharp bookies. These are the market makers, the ones with elite traders who set the original odds. And then you have soft bookies, who often just follow the lines set by the sharp ones, but they might tweak their prices or offer promotions to attract more casual bettors.
And that distinction is exactly why shopping around is so important for us bettors. A softer bookie might just offer a slightly better price or a special deal on a game you're interested in. If you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser.
All right, so understanding all of this, the math, the margin, the market movements, brings us to the most important question for any of us. How can you use this knowledge to your advantage? How can you look at a price and decide if it's fair, or even better, if it holds real value?
This idea right here is the absolute heart of smart betting. Finding value isn't about just picking the team you think is going to win.
It's about finding odds that you believe are a better price than the actual probability of that team winning. You're not just betting on a team, you're betting on the price.
So, how do you actually find this elusive value? Well, it boils down to a few key strategies. As you can see, it involves comparing bookmakers to get the best price, doing your own research that goes way beyond the basics, and building a consistent strategy over time. It's all about combining your knowledge with the market's numbers to find an edge.
Let's just zoom in on that first step for a second. Comparing bookmakers. Honestly, this is the single easiest thing you can do to improve your returns. Just a tiny difference in the odds from one site to another can have a massive impact on your bankroll over time. If you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser.
And hey, another huge way to gain an edge is by using promotions. As this chart shows, a good welcome bonus can seriously boost your starting bankroll, giving you way more flexibility. If finding these kinds of offers is part of your strategy, and if you're looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser.
So let's wrap this all up. We've seen how odds start as pure math, then get twisted a bit for the bookie's profit, and are finally shaped by the forces of the market itself. Understanding this entire chain, from start to finish, is the most powerful tool you have. It literally transforms you from someone who's just guessing into an informed player who truly gets the market they're playing in. Which really leaves us with one final big question. The bookies have their powerful algorithms and their teams of experts, no doubt. But you have your own unique analysis, your own intuition, your own gut feelings. The true art of betting is figuring out when what you know gives you a genuine edge over the numbers you see on the screen.